Hi again, witchy people. I'm back with another HedgeWitch view on divination and divination techniques, and today it's tidings yet to come. Now this can be quite a complicated technique of divination. It's a form of precognition, so kind of like seeing the future. Now unusually for most forms of divination, it actually helps with this one if you're feeling a bit tired. In that you can be more relaxed. You need to be a bit out of it. Most forms of divination you have to be sort of very awake and very precise and know exactly what you're doing. With this tidings yet to come, it's easier if you're very, very relaxed. So on the point of being sleepy but not actually being asleep. So how do you do it? Like I said, it's a little bit complicated, but it can give you really good results if you persevere with it. So you wait till you're feeling a bit tired, but not so tired that you're exhausted. And what you want to do is find yourself a nice quiet place and just sit. Now I say sit rather than lay down because you don't really want to fall asleep. That's not the idea. So if you're sat up, you're less likely to fall asleep. So get comfortable, be relaxed, but not so relaxed you're going to nod off. And you have to go into almost like a mild meditative state. So you want to be really relaxed and you want to concentrate on the thoughts going around in your head. But you want to view them as almost like a parade passing you by. You don't want to follow them, you don't want to interact with your thoughts, you just want to sort of like watch them, observe them, like almost like you're outside of yourself observing your thoughts. Now I know that sounds complicated. It's actually easier to do than it sounds, especially if you've got this is a very, very good divination technique for those people that have wandering minds and can't concentrate easily. Like me, where you get distracted by things very easily. Because although you have that focus, it's not an intent focus. It's very much, just sort of like relaxing. Oh look, there's a thought, and it is very much. Yeah, so you don't want to interact with your thoughts as such, you just want to sort of be an observer and let it all pass you by. Don't hold on to any thoughts, just let them carry on their way. So now you should be in this very relaxed state, and you're kind of getting used to just watching your thoughts rather than participating in them. And when you get to that feeling where it's almost like you're in between that stage of being awake and being asleep. You're not really awake, but you're not asleep either. And that's when you can start forming some of these thoughts into pictures. Okay, so say one of your thoughts that you just happen to notice passing by is, oh, I've got to wash the dog tomorrow, I've got to give the dog a bath. Don't think about the words, oh, I've got to give a dog a bath. Start picturing the images in your mind of washing the dog. So picture the bath, the dog shampoo, picture the dog, and start forming these images in your head. And what you're doing by forming the images first is you're triggering your precognitive abilities. So now you have to imagine, whilst this is going on in one part of your brain, you have to imagine a sheet of paper. Now if it's easier for you, imagine an email, but to be honest, I'm old-fashioned, imagine a paper and pen. And those images that are in your head that you've attached to thoughts, imagine them on the paper. You can imagine drawing them, but just imagine them appearing on this sheet of writing paper. And as the image starts to build up, start imagining those pictures morphing into words, changing, and it doesn't matter if the words are not connected to what you're thinking and the picture. Okay, it's just the words that appear. The only reason why you're taking a thought and putting it into almost like a vision, a picture, and imagining and the images and putting them down on the paper before you change it into the words is because you are triggering that precognitive ability that you have. You're getting that link as well, and you're training your mind. So like I said, the words may not have anything to do with what that thought that you picked up on, or the images that you first put down, and you only get 1 or 2 words, or just 1 word, or you may get a few letters that you have to figure out. So you have to kind of visualize these images changing, morphing into letters and words. And you sometimes, when you first do this, sort of, it's very blurry and a bit, you know, illegible. You can't see, you can't really get hold of. But then you might get 1 or 2 words that start appearing more clearly. And the toughest part, the really hardest part of really this form of divination, this precognitive ability, precognition, is trying to figure out how the words relate to what your first thought may have been before you even started to sit down, and how they're going to relate to the future, because it is a form of fortune telling, future fortune telling. So you've got to try and figure out what you have seen and how your mind has interpreted that. Like I said, it's really difficult at first, because as well there's a lot of steps to this. But you will notice as you do it more, you kind of get more faith in yourself doing it, and you pick up more words, and then you find it easier to connect those words. So you might get words like, oh, hope, and letter, and auntie, I don't know, something, friend, pal, or a name, or something. And you might see that these words mean that a friend of yours needs your help because they're worried about receiving a letter about something, and they hope it's going to be okay. You know, you have to try and figure out what words you get. And figure it. Now, sometimes some people find that their precognitive abilities aren't triggered, but their past cognitive abilities are. So you may find yourself receiving messages from the past. That's unusual, because that's kind of opening your mind up to a kind of different realm. It's a whole different, the way your brain works and triggers things in a different way. But so usually it's a precognitive ability. So there you go. I hope I explained it okay. I know it sounds really complicated, but like I said, the more you practice it, and the more you kind of get used, part of it is getting used to that feeling of being almost asleep, but you know you're awake and you're conscious of what's going on. And you kind of, I know when I'm in this weird sort of state, because I start not quite hearing things. What the world around me kind of blanks out, and I'll pick up words here and there. Now sometimes that's a very good way as well of precognition, is when you're in that halfway state, just see what words come to you. And sometimes if you're not going as far as Tidings Yet to Come, where you see the letter, sometimes you don't even have to go that far. After a while these words just come to you. You kind of miss out all that middle stage, because you don't have to prepare yourself. When you've done it for over and over again for so long, it may take days, weeks, months, or even years, but when you get to a point where it's almost like your body thinks, oh, we're going into this again, I know what to do now, ding ding ding, there's your words. and you kind of miss out all that bit of watching your thoughts and picturing thoughts and then placing it onto the paper, and the picture changing into words, and you just get the words. It cuts out all the middleman bit. It's not a very popular form of divination because it does take time. It's not a very easy form to do for some people, because some people like, they don't like all the different steps and trying to, it's almost like you have to pigeonhole your brain and your thoughts into different sections, so it can be quite difficult. But if you're quite good at precognitive dreaming, where you can force yourself to dream, if you're good at that, you'll be good at this. If you're very good at being tired and going to bed and knowing exactly when you're going to fall asleep, you actually have that conscious thought of, yes, I'm going to fall asleep now. This is exactly how I feel. I'm winding down and this is me falling asleep. If you have that ability, then this will be easy. I mean, some people just fall asleep and they can't remember when they fell asleep. They can't remember what their last sort of thoughts were before they fell asleep, and they don't remember when they wake up sort of what they were doing just before they fell asleep. That sort of whole, what goes on in your head and what you were thinking about, you kind of lose it. I can actually recall exactly the moment I fall asleep. I know what I'm thinking about, what's going on in my head, and a lot of people do have that ability. Some people don't. Anyway, I've been rambling again. That is Tidings Yet to Come, and we call it Tidings Yet to Come because it's an old form, of letter writing. It's future news, if you like, that sort of thing. It's trying to get a psychic link with what could happen. So precognitive abilities. So Tidings Yet to Come. There we go. Have a go. You might find it easy. If you don't, if it's not something you're comfortable with, don't do it. Just say, nah, this is not for me. I'll find another way of doing it. But it is fun to try, actually, especially because you get to understand that feeling you have as you're falling asleep. And it kind of lets you know how your mind works a bit better. Not your brain, but your mind and your thoughts. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to be quiet now. Thank you for watching, witchy people. I'll be back very soon. Bye bye now.